Hey y'all, happy full moon. The full moon is in Virgo. Also, happy Mercury stationing direct. I mean, even though we're going to be in the shadow period for a little while, I can already feel like I can breathe a little bit more, partly because Mercury isn't in Pisces right now. So I'm still enjoying Pisces season. I'm still allowing the tears to flow. I'm still being very reflective. But what we're looking at today with the full moon in Virgo is really the practicality of all of the emotions that we've been having, how to practically navigate and implement new structures, new systems in a way that doesn't overwork us. Virgos definitely are devoted, and sometimes they tend to um, burn out, burn themselves out because of their desire to serve, because they care so much. But how do we put that same devotion and care and attention towards the care of ourselves, the care of our body? And of course, this is also going to depend on where Virgo is in your chart as well. But we're going to see what messages as the school bus drives by to drop off some children. We got child, orphan, but it came in the reverse. The trickster, which is the lessons from Mercury retrograde. The artist, and we got it in the reverse as well. One more card. The servant. So this is really, really beautiful, and I didn't really have questions planned for us today, but I will go with intuitively what comes up. But child, orphan, let's read the shadow attributes of it. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Y'all, it's kind of a drag. And so what does this mean? When we feel rejected, when we've even neglected our own desires, our own wants, our own needs, this feels like a tendency to attach to people and spaces and places just to feel a sense of connection, but not a healthy one. Just because we don't want to be alone, we would rather be attached to situationships, which is something that I recently posted about. So surrogate family could be romantic partner, it could be friendships, it could be groups of people, it could be collectives that we've joined and are now looking like, ooh, I didn't know this is what they stood for. Ooh, I didn't know that the energy was this way. Or if you are leading in community, this is not the culture of that I want to create. I want to change or impact it to adequately reflect my true values versus just adopting and co-opting systems and ways of being and ways of doing that I've seen modeled before that already made me feel ostracized in the first place. So we're checking ourselves to make sure that we're not engaging in some of the behaviors that have been shown to us. So making sure we're not mirroring the same things that harmed us in the past growing up, because we might be doing it unconsciously because we experienced those wounds as a child. So let's get more on that from Spirit. More on this orphan energy and how that's showing up with this full moon. We got the message from water, the fire element, the two of air, mirrors. We get to choose the type of person that we want to be, and we get to choose the direction that we want our families to go. the Chariot card here. Well, it's the message from water, but this for me is Chariot energy, Cancer energy. This is choosing a new direction. So a lot of what we're doing is burning through the familiar patterns that we've learned and choosing to implement new strategies and new ways of being in our family. This message from fire here really is purification, but through hard times, hard tests, looking and observing the situations our families may be in right now, the ways that they're being tested. Even if they're our own tests and we're needing our families to show up for us in a different way, this is us taking the leadership role, even if loving behaviors were not modeled, even if it wasn't clear how to be in connection and community, and build actual support systems through the family dynamic. We are choosing and modeling and showing a healthy way of being, even in the hard times, even through the fire. Okay? So what does that look like for us if there is a test right now, if there is a challenge right now? It is not avoiding difficult emotions. It is heading into these difficult conversations, difficult encounters with our loved ones, and remembering that they are a reflection of us, that we are experiencing some of the same things. We still can choose differently, we can be differently, but having compassion, preserving our heart. You can go into the fire and still have good boundaries. This swan is not completing, right? Neither one of them are completing anything for the other. They're just standing, observing, witnessing, honoring. You don't necessarily have to. You may have to do something. You may have to make a sacrifice to show your love, to show your support, but you aren't necessarily standing in the gap for the person. That person or those people have to do their work also. So this is just playing our role, doing what we can do for the people that we love during this time. Because we claim to want support. We claim to want to feel valued. We say that, oh, they don't care about me, or I'm all by myself. But how are we showing up? Are we also modeling those behaviors of abandonment and neglect of the people we say that we love, because we've also been neglected and abandoned? And so when it's time for us to show up, we do this because nobody cared about me. Nobody loved me. Nobody showed up for me. They didn't. But we're choosing a new way. We're choosing a new path, and we're changing the direction of our families. So this trickster energy is that Mercury retrograde energy. Let's get more. Are we supposed to beware of anything? A lot of choices to be made right now. We got the Two of Water first, the Two of Fire, and the Four of Air. This feels like spiritual attack that wants us to make choices that betray our best interests. It feels like pressure to create division within the family, within the home, within the friendship circles, it feels like wanting you to feel on guard and kind of like a every man for himself. And we can see this globally, right? With the way that we're reacting to a pandemic, price gouging, storing up for ourselves and not necessarily figuring out what other people in our community need because we're hoarding resources, things of that nature. And it feels like an attack on our morals and our values, on whether we're going to choose power or if we're going to choose love and connection. How can we have both? The bottom of the deck right now is the Six of Water, and it feels like a call to be open, be vulnerable. The full moon is here, allowing ourselves to feel safe, to be open, to be honest with the people we know we can trust about what we're experiencing. Let me get more, because we need community now more than ever, and that's the lie that's being exposed. This trickster energy, that's the lie that's being undone right now in spirit, that we don't have support, that we can't do what we want to do because okay, thank you, spirit. So what's coming through is this is actually showing us a different way, a way to be interdependent and not codependent. Just because you're not practicing and experiencing trauma bonding or codependency does not mean that you're separate, does not mean you're alone. It means that you choose your personal power and you love from that space of personal power. And it's an adjustment that we have to make. What does service look like? It doesn't look like giving all of yourself. It looks like you standing in your power, a person empowering another person to stand in their power. And that's how doors open. That's how breakthroughs come. Let me get more. What's behind this door, spirit? This door. Yeah. Bottom of the deck right now is the Baba Orisha, or the Magician card in the traditional tarot. So behind the door is the Seven of Water. This is Pisces. This is us having so many different options. We don't know what's behind the door. So right now we're afraid to take a risk because honestly, with this orphan energy from the beginning, it's a part of us that's still a little bit underdeveloped, still wishing that we had a parental figure to help guide us or help take care of us or help us make these hard and difficult decisions. Or even if our parents are still with us, never really feeling like we had that guidance. So we're reparenting ourselves now, and that's hard. It's difficult and it's confusing, but you are not alone. So it's again a reinforcement of, even though you feel surrounded in this confusion of Pisces energy, of infinite possibilities, not really knowing which way to turn, you don't have to make a choice based on other people's opinions. You don't have to make a choice in tandem with the validation of somebody else. What you can do is the Three of Earth. You can seek guidance from people who are building similar lives that you want to build, people who are willing to share their ideas, share their resources, share their guidance. Not necessarily monetary resources, but they're willing to share their story, right? Their connection, bring you into their community. So allow your community to serve you in this way by being vulnerable about what you need, the choices that you're having to make, and then get the insight, get the wisdom, because you're not alone. This energy is this trickster energy, this whole Mercury retrograde energy. Even in this full moon, it may be feeling overwhelming and we're starting to panic about what the future holds. But we just need to be vulnerable and open about what those doubts are, allow our community to come and to pour into us with tangible, basically help us with our own plan of action through their feedback. When you manifest something, I think I told Scorpio this in their March reading, when you manifest um, something and all of the possibilities show up, you can get this confusion energy because now you have all of these choices to make. I want a little bit more spirit on this Three of Pentacles because it feels like a very specific way that your people can help you at this time. We got the Two of Wands. And the Three of Swords. Two of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Strength card. Growth is hard. Is really the message here. We're stretching ourselves, we're stretching our abilities, we're stretching our capabilities, our skill sets. And with that, it's like really literally the message is if you want something you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. Two of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. This is change. This is the reward for taking risks, even though it's scary. So when I'm asking for clarity about like how our friends can help us, what can they actually do? It's basically spirit being like, you have to stand in your power and authority and move forward even though you're afraid, and lean more into your independence. The Three of Earth, even though it's a card about collaboration, it's still a very card about yourself and your independent nature and your choices and your decisions and what you bring to the table. So you have to choose to do it afraid, but you're not alone. That is a lie. Even if you take the big risks, Two of Wands, expansion, and see, notice that we keep getting all these twos. This full moon is a choice point. If you take the risks, your community will still support you. Your friends will still support you. You will build new community. But the change you need, the change that you may have been hesitant to make is where the reward is. So we got the Artist and we got it in reverse, and it feels like it's because we have creative blocks. Us not wanting to take a risk. That Two of Fire is us blocking our creativity. It's not leaning into the vision that we have. So and then we have the Servant card. So for me, this feels like us suppressing our creative vision and hiding behind service. Pisces is all about service, but it teaches us about boundaries because it has a tendency to have martyrdom energy. And I talked about that a lot in the newsletters, and you can go back and reread through some of them. Your gifts and your skills are how you serve. So what are we hiding? Why are we hiding, Spirit? And what is this? How do we stop suppressing our creative energy in exchange for practicality? Because I do feel like it doesn't have to be either or, but it's like we have to incorporate it now. We're being called to be more creative. We have to be more resourceful in the days ahead. And this isn't like no doomsday stuff. It's just things have shifted. Things have been shifting. Entrepreneurship is on a rise for a reason. I don't really feel like I have to go. And it's not that you have to work for yourself. It's that you have to be creative about how you implement solutions. You have to be a solution-oriented thinker, collaborator, server. So even if you're a teacher, How are you suppressing your creativity to go along, to get along and do things the way they've always been done? It's not time for that anymore. You have to step out of the shadows and do things in a different way. Okay. So we got the 9 of fire, the 6 of earth, and the fire element again. So the fire energy is really here strongly to let us know that things are actually about to get hard, about to get, also spring is coming. So it's not all bad. It's not like things are shifting into this like doomsday type thing or apocalyptic type thing. That's not necessarily what I mean. Transformation through fire, purification through fire. Even when we look at controlled like deforestation so that more can grow again, these indigenous practices that are done because they know that the land needs to be tended to in this way. It's this destruction of what has been to create a new. And that requires us to get very, very still and prayerful. We're still in Lenten season. Being very, very still, very, very prayerful, allowing new vision, new creativity, new sparks of ideas to come to us from God, to drive us so that we are basically doing our work, serving our community. This is representative of us being in our power, being responsible for our creative ideas and alchemizing it into something tangible. That we have the drive and the force to execute it. We have the energy to execute it. Spring is almost here, but it's not here yet. And this is a call for us to really, really rest and lean into this stillness and receptivity, because once it's time to go, it's time to move, and it's going to be time to move quickly. Bottom of the deck is the 9 of air. There's a lot. I didn't even see that. Not bottom of the deck, sorry. Underneath that, it was a card that was hiding. The pressure to move, the pressure to get things done is coming. And so you need a plan of action, but you need a divine plan of action. You don't need to be making choices out of fear, out of rush, out of panic. So what do we do about this anxiety? I really feel like this is the answer, but let's get more. I didn't see that was there the whole time, and it's hiding. And so that is a message too, is we may not even recognize our anxiety. It may be coming to a head right now with this full moon because the seasons are changing, but where are we with the goals that we've set? And this like fear that we failed ourselves once again is coming up, and it is a lie. It's a trick to get us not to take risks because, okay, I haven't even really done that. I haven't really executed that like I said I was going to do. Let me just stick to what I've been doing, even though you know that that's not working for you. It's not giving you your desired outcome. So let's get more. This is it. The Sun card is here because, and this 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Earth, this is the reward for taking the risk. This is the reward for honoring yourself, showing up as the full version of yourself and not holding back. Underneath that rather is the 7 of air. This is this orphan energy, this abandoned energy. So this is spirit coming to say that you are a child of God. You are a child of the Most High. Your power and your source and your ability to create what you dreamed about comes from this direct source. So you don't have to be afraid. Start small, start where you are, but you have to start because your reward is there. And start, like, what does that mean? Like, because a lot of us have already taken little leaps, taking little steps. What's our next step? And then we can close. What is our next best step towards getting this reward on this full moon in Virgo? What actions can we take to get the fruit that is promised to us? We got the Hangman. And this is allowing Pisces season to come to its end. Wait for those ideas. Wait for your guidance. Wait for your action. Do not force yourself to do anything out of fear, out of anxiety. It's almost that like wait on the Lord. Blessings are coming, it feels like, to mark the end, to show you your path, to make it clear. And you will get a direction, Princess of Discs. You will realize what you're responsible for, and you will pick up that specific guidance and go on your journey to completing it. And it will be a new journey. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. It will be a new path. It will be different. You are going to start doing things differently, and you will be rewarded for it. If you need help or more clarity around what your new assignment is going to be, you can book a personal reading. That's always available. I haven't decided if I'm going to put this full video on Instagram or keep the full video exclusive to the subscribed members of the on-demand service. But just because it's so long in Instagram, there's limits. However, if you are watching this from Instagram, because I typically do moon messages for the collective as a service that is free to the public. If you're watching this, subscribe to On Demand, because there's guidance for you for the month of March that has specific directives for you. But with that being said, I am going to get some specific guidance to close here for each sign. So air signs. Oh, how do I want to do this? Do I want to do it by sign? I'm going to do it by sign. I feel like there's what action we need to take to go towards our next path. And you may look at your sun sign or rising sign, especially since we're talking about a full moon. Virgo, depends on what house. My Virgo house is my second house is career. So I'll be looking at Leo intently to see, because I'm a Leo rising. So let's see. So let's start with Pisces. What action do you need to take? The Star card. This is really needing to face yourself, be honest with yourself, and detach yourself from your emotional attachment to your desired outcome. You need to look at the bigger picture right now, Pisces. Look at the bigger picture. Yeah, I was going to say this feels like a relationship. And then I pulled this card. There's an attachment that you have that you need to release. Okay. There's attachment you have that you need to release. This full moon. It's blocking your blessings. And if it's a relationship that you've already left, there's clearing that needs to be done. If you still own things that this person gave you, they need to be released. Everything to close that energy and complete that karma clearing. Aries. You got Oba, Oshun, and Iku. Bottom of the death is Papa Leg, but this is really big energy, Aries. watch your reading again for the month of March, but your ancestors are asking you to remember who you are, stop comparing yourself to other people, and stop the negative self-talk specifically. Speak life into yourself. Affirmations are helpful for you this full moon in Virgo. Taurus, 10 of fire. You're overburdened, you're overwhelmed. You need to release some of the things on your workload. You have to say no to somebody. It's okay. Boundaries. That's what Pisces season is teaching us. And the Virgo full moon wants you to release the amount of commitments you have towards. Gemini, Oshumare. This is blessings. This is abundance. It's here. The full moon may be bringing you a new opportunity in work for sure. Blessings. If you are looking for a new job right now, continue to apply. Things are lining up in a way that will allow you to have more balance in your finances. Cancer. The Sun, which is what we ended on for the full message, and fairies and self. You need to craft and take this full moon to be inspired by creating a new narrative. How do you describe yourself? How do you see yourself? And how do you communicate yourself to the world? Whether that's like a media kit or new copy on your website if you're an entrepreneur. But also just what is your mission? And get clear on your personal mission statement. This energy is good for that, Cancer. Leo. This is that abandonment energy. 7 of air. You are lying to yourself about your ability to do something. You do have the skills, you do have the talent, and you're not a baby anymore. And I'm saying that as a mommy way, like, you got this, baby. Like, you're not a baby anymore. You just got to try. Just try. You might fall. It's going to be okay. Look at what happens when you do. New love, new opportunity, abundance. You literally just have to try. Don't be scared. That was for me. You're holding yourself back because you're believing lies about yourself, about your skills and your abilities, Leo. Also, the concept of being alone, Leo, is really, really important. You can play this back from the beginning. You're not alone, okay? You're not alone. There's something else coming through for you. It's just about mothering yourself, because the abandonment energy is literally the work of the devil to make you feel unloved, and you're missing out on your blessing, your reward, because you're destined for these beautiful and these big things, and that feeling of abandonment is a trick of the devil. Those clarifying cards were Yemaya, the devil card, and a message from Earth. Okay, Virgo. This full moon in your sign. Baby, you better manifest. Light you a candle, ritual. Ask for what you want. There's power and energy supporting you for a new path, new opportunities, new soul contracts. I'm excited for you. Libra. Okay. New path, new opportunities, new contracts. Speak life. Manifest, set intentions. I know that we think of full moon as like releasing, but it's also recharging and refueling this feels like inspired ideas for you, Libra. Sit outside, sit under the moon, receive the inspiration and the messages, probably with crystals, recharge your crystals as well. Also, you may be receiving communication, receiving peace offerings specifically. Scorpio. Timing is everything. This is your time. A lot of your prayers are being answered now, specifically in work. Things may appear chaotic like that devil energy, but it's being worked. The devil really is here. Issues around work are being solved. New ways of not working, but a new infusion of ideas or opportunities or people or networks are coming this full moon and the week ahead. This cycle, right? This cycle of after the full moon. Sagittarius. New. Oh my gosh, y'all. Breakthroughs, man. Breakthroughs are here. Communicate your desires and your intentions. This is not the Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords is very different energy. It's more cutting. This is just an offering. Like, this is gentle. You can have what you want, but it is something about the way you say things and the way you ask, and for your words to be less cutting, and to be sincere about the goals you have, even when you're talking about your own self-talk. This really does feel like what you're putting out there. So let me pray. Pray to your angels. This is Yemaya, Karma, and is it Message from Earth? Yeah, Message from Earth. This is blessings being sent to you, it feels like, from your ancestors and your angels. Beautiful. Let me know, y'all. That was Sag, Capricorn, and then Aquarius, and then we're finished. Just saw 3737. Definitely your angel, Sagittarius. I'm happy for you. That's very beautiful. Your angels, your ancestors, blessing you. If your mom has passed on, it's your mom, your mother, or your grandmother, specifically, it feels like. Capricorn. We talked about this in your reading. Watch it again. A new way to approach work, doing what you really love, taking a risk to fill your heart so that you will have fuel to continue the work. When it's what you love, it fills you up. You won't be burnt out because you love it and it fills you up daily. Is what it feels like. So make that shift. Aquarius. Healing. This is you. This is you taking time to heal. This full moon is about healing and deconnecting. Yep. Boundaries. 5 of air at the bottom. Healing from connections that harmed. Fully detaching and releasing. So same thing I told. Who did I tell that? About Pisces. You and Pisces. Literally anything that is attached to a connection that you know was harmful, really do a ritual to release from that, okay? All right, closing guidance for all of us as my babies get off the school bus. This is the reward, or this is the land. This is the ground that we're responsible for guarding and protecting. It is our vision, is what we have to tend to. This is the protection being provided to us by spirit when we tend to the land. This is Virgo energy. This is consistency. This is love. This is devotion, balance. And this is honestly, that call for prayer, that call to continue to kind of withdraw to receive the instructions for how we better tend to the land in a way, tend to our responsibilities, tend to our vision in a way that brings us more prosperity, but also balance, that we can not only give our work what it needs, but give our bodies what they need, so that we can live really in this. This is a lot about money, to be honest. This is about finances. This is about security. This is about well-being, quality of life. And so over the next weeks, especially through the end of Pisces season, we kind of really need to be with God. And I talked about this from the beginning, and this full moon message is doubling down. It's not over. We don't have all of the answers yet, but they're coming. And as they come, we're getting directions. And we need to honor the promises that we have made, and we need to keep them. And that's where the reward will be, in keeping the promises that we've made to ourselves. So happy full moon. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. And you can book a personal reading on the website. Love you.